Hi, so I wanted to quickly do this today with you because a lot of people I've spoken to recently are finding that it's difficult to actually bring people in from their audiences right now. There is a trust recession on, and we want to do all that we can so that you can actually convert all those leads that have been watching you and following you. Okay. So one of the things that actually Laurel shared with us last year with her mentor, Nick Peterson, is like a workshop where you can attract those people who are ready but not sure. Okay, so this is my own version of what it was that was taught to us. Okay, so I'm calling it your first shout for your workshop funnel. Okay, now basically what you're going to be doing, you're going to be teaching quickly, you're going to validate early, and then you can upsell with ease. So we're just going to go through this quickly. It's a Saturday here and I'm about to go for lunch, so it's going to be very fast in my own way. Okay, so the whole point of this is to actually build engagement, and we want to validate demand first, and then we want to deliver value fast without actually building any course. So the whole point is that you're going to be validating that they want this information you've got, and I'm going to take you through how to do this right now. It's only going to take us about 4 minutes, okay, I promise. Okay, so the first thing is, move me out of the way. The first thing you've got to do is you've got to spark curiosity, okay? You're going to actually be pre-selling without building anything at all. So you're not going to be putting any work in at first, because I know a lot of us, we keep building courses or just ways to help our ideal clients, but it's actually not helping us because we're finding that we're running around in circles. We've got loads of good ideas. Maybe we'll hear one or two problems and then we go, oh, maybe I should build another course on that. And we end up getting tired and fed up of what we're doing. Okay. But the whole point is to actually get people to raise their hands to identify what our ideal clients really need in this moment right now. Things are changing and we need to be able to help the people who are following us. Okay. So we're going to get people to raise a hand before we even have an offer. Okay. This actually helps us to validate where people are and what else to make next. Okay. So I've got a few comments in here. Like for example, okay, first of all, you have a post ground just to gauge interest on your page. Okay. And you can boost that to your warm audience too. And an example could be comment first, you want 50% off my May bank holiday offer. Now you want to make it really, really, really easy for people to say yes. It's going to be a no-brainer, as I say, okay? So another thing could be, if you want, I've made some notes, but you guys can have this. If you want first shout and 50% off, comment first, and I'll add you to my early list, okay? So you can come up with ideas. You know what your audience tends to react to. You can gauge how warm they are to this particular offer. And then you can just put that up there. It doesn't need any special creatives. It can just be a post, okay? Now, why this works, okay? Well, there's no offer needed yet at all. You don't have to think about it. It creates urgency though, okay? Because you've already told them it's going to be May bank holiday weekend, which means it's a one-off. And also it actually starts building your warm audience from your warm audience. That means it actually identifies who's ready. And the whole point is, the goal is to get people to raise their hands without you having to create anything at all. Now, step 2, you want to test demand with comments, okay? You want to see how many people are actually interested in this, because obviously you don't want to do any more work than you have to. So you want to watch how many people are responding to your post. That's easy to do. You all know how to do that. Even 20 to 30 comments, okay, that's a broad thing. Even if you get 20 comments, that is enough to know that you're okay to go ahead with this. If you don't worry about it, okay? Leave it to the next natural deadline and try it again. It's all okay. But this is really important if you're looking to try and find out what people want right now. So we do know, of course, if you get like 50 plus comments, you've got real interest there. We know that well-known people doing this kind of thing, they get 500 plus, which is a really strong validation. But we need to remember, those people have already built a following and they're going up to the next million or so. For the majority of us, we're happy to just be bringing in 10,000 right now profit, aren't we? So just think about what you actually need and your dreams will follow, I promise, but you've got to be consistent with this. Yeah, just even if you get just 20, it's a really good start, okay? Now, next will be, I'm going to build the workshop framework, okay? Now, 3-day workshops around action. Okay, so if you can actually identify people stuck with right now and just say, I know you guys are stuck with this thing. Okay, for me, it's a lot of people are stuck with getting their ecosystem up, because we help Laurel students mainly at the moment to get their implementation in place. Once we've got the ecosystem up and running, it's easy for them to run, because we've set up how they can check the KPIs, set all that up in Ads Manager, and then they're like going, I don't have to think about anything. All I need to do is just do these 3 things each week, and it's so simple. And once we got that up and running, everyone's like going, oh, I didn't realize this was so easy. So you could actually just, I'm looking at my notes on the wrong page. Okay, so here is an idea. Okay, the idea is don't teach anymore. Okay, help them do what they already know. Just help them to get over those hurdles that they have, things that people are stuck on. Okay, and you can make a brilliant workshop just on those small things. And you might think it's too little, but actually you'll find that that's what they needed right now, and that's what's going to get them through this like tricky part that they're finding hard, that we think is easy because we've done it so many times already, but they would not be coming to us if they could do it already. So we always need to remember that. Now, your version could be, let's build your lead magnet, or record your first sales video, or write your first email funnel. You know what your key audience is needing right now, but you want to pick one valuable outcome and just walk through it live. Okay, so you listen to what problems people have got right now and make it and build it around that. But you want to keep it short, you want to keep it focused, and you want to keep it value driven, and you want to keep it outcome driven too. So you want to have a reason for them to come in to do it because of this goal that they have. Okay. Now your 4th step is to deliver the event, of course. Okay, so most of us will host it on Zoom. It's really easy to use, and you don't want any over teaching at all. Okay, you want to keep it as simple as possible. Keep your language really simple so it's easy for people to follow. Don't do it for too long. People are tending to switch off these days after about 40 minutes, I'm noticing. If you have too much information, it takes too long, people won't even show up. If you keep it concise and to the point, people are going to remember that your workshops are really good. They're not too difficult to attend, and they can fit it in with their busy day. They're more likely to follow up with you as well, because they see that you're concise with your teaching. And they're more likely to come to any other event as well, because they don't go, oh, crikey, I need 90 minutes for that. I don't have 90 minutes of my day right now. So if you keep it between 30 and 40 minutes, people go, I can manage that. I can fit that in between my calls, my work, my family, and everything else that's going on in people's busy lives right now. So I've got here daily structure, which is just basically you're going to have a setup, then you've got an action, then obviously launch, and then you're going to review it. Okay, that shouldn't take you any longer than 90 minutes for yourself for all of that. Okay, if you keep it simple, it doesn't need to be complicated, and don't think about getting all fluffy. Actually get involved personally. Keep it organic as possible so people don't feel that they have to have too much to do for their own side. It actually is a really good mindset right now, just to be as natural as possible and helpful as possible, so people don't think that they can't do what you're doing either. Okay, that's really important for if you're helping people. So you've got those, you get your setup in place. So you should be able to know how to do that by now. If not, do give me a shout. You want to execute the core pieces. Now keep it really simple. Keep it to one problem. Break the problem down into little tiny pieces. Ask questions. Make sure that people know if they get stuck that they can ask you. Okay, so people don't go, oh, I just couldn't do this. I'm never going to be any good at this. Okay, they're coming to you because they don't know what they're doing, and then obviously after the launch, you're going to review your data. But one really important thing is do not over teach, because people will shut down, and also focus on execution rather than teaching anyway. Okay, keep asking people if they need questions and answer any questions they have live so everybody learns from that. Okay, and from this you just will build momentum. Okay, and after the first day you actually get to know what other things people are stuck on, so you can then implement those for the next 2 days as well. But you want to focus on the momentum and the simple wins, and make sure you celebrate all simple wins so people don't feel stupid. Okay, that's really, really important, because people only know what they don't know. Okay, so this is really, really important right now, just to go at people's pace and not expect them to know what you know. Okay, you would then use the results to upsell. Now this is where the exciting part is for you. People would have an uplift for working with you, and also from getting some results from what they've done, especially with something they've been stuck on. okay, and thought that they couldn't do it themselves or that they had to pay someone else to do it. And people will feel positive, okay? If they have momentum and they've started to see some results, it's a perfect time to upsell, okay? It's a perfect time to invite them to your main offer for deeper support because they feel like they can trust you now, okay? And this just gives you an easy transition. It's just natural. They just feel aligned. If they connect with you, you will have a better time too, yeah? So basically now they have data, now they'll be invested. Because once we start, and I've been to a workshop recently where I was really interested, but it was so complicated, even though I wanted to learn it, I will do that later. And even though all the emails keep coming in and I like the person, it's just I haven't got time. And it's not important enough, even though I want to do it, for me to go ahead with it. And there's no way I'm going to sign up to that person's thing because I think it's going to be too complicated from what I learned in the workshop. Okay, the workshops are way too long as well. I feel like I wasted a whole weekend learning something that I really felt I couldn't do at that moment. Okay, which was kind of leaving me with a negative experience of somebody I really trust. So this is really important to understand, that you want to keep it really simple. Okay, and then that natural transition will just feel aligned because it'll be like, oh, okay, I needed that. This person, I can trust them because they just show me they know what to do. They show me they know how to solve my problems. And that's really essential. Okay, so things that you could do, I've got a few examples here. Like, for example, now they do have the data, now they're invested. This is an example. Now, if you want to do this for your own business, but you find it too hard consuming to get started, we have an ecosystem set up and we can also offer the ads management side for you. Okay, so that could be one example. And right now we have a special offer if you invest for the first 3 months up front, because we know if people understand that something is a long-term thing anyway and that they're going to get stuck in, they feel better momentum if they've just finished doing the first part and they kind of feel excited to get stuck in and started. And they also know if this is what they want, that if they sign up for the 3 months, they're more likely to get to the end goal. If we don't have that commitment right now, you tend to find that people are like dropping out, not because they don't want to do it, not because they don't like you, but because they're too busy or they're too distracted. Okay, there's a lot of distraction going on in the world right now, unfortunately. And also, obviously, algorithm and all that going on too. Another example is if you want help tweaking your ads or your copy or scaling from here, all these things are things that you guys do. And you can just say, that's exactly what I do in my premium program or on my course or whatever it might be. Okay, so there's some examples. The thing is, though, this gives you a natural bridge. And they spent time with you, so you've already got warmer leads. Okay, they got used to you. You know right now with the trust recession, you need to get at least 7 hours content exposure, videos and all this kind of thing, or unless you're at events, so people are seeing you on stage and connecting with you there. You also need to get 11 touch points, which doesn't sound like that many, but you've got to remember you've got a lot of other people out there competing with you. And also we need to be seen on 4 different platforms. They could be also offline platforms, doesn't need to just be on the internet. There's easy ways of doing that right now if you've got like a scheduler or like GHL or whatever. Okay, but the whole thing is that all of this is proof that you know what you're doing, which is going to build that essential trust. I'm reading my notes, okay? And you're helping them to implement, okay? They're experiencing how this all works, so they kind of get the feeling that they can do it, okay? And they're not just consuming information and then doing like most people do and sit back and go, yeah, that looks really good. I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, we know. We know that the hardest part is that 0 to 1 getting started. And we also know that once someone gets started, they're much more likely to want to complete it, okay? Especially the investor. That's just human nature, okay? So that is how you do this particular workshop. So the funnel overview is you put out your first shout post. I'd put it everywhere. I mean, I've got so many pages everywhere. I'd put it on my 3 LinkedIn pages. I'd put it on my personal page for sure, and all my business pages that are relevant, okay? And then you chuck something on TikTok if you got that, and LinkedIn if you use that, X if you're using it. Just put it everywhere, yeah? But you want like that demand surge, and you want to make it so it's really easy for them just to think, yeah, I'm going to go for that. So you're like your 50% off is a really, really good idea. But you want to like create program over 3 days so that they get time with you. But like I said, don't have it too long. If you can If you can keep it around 30, 40 minutes right now per day, you're probably going to have a much better response at the end of it. More people probably show up. And then obviously with the results, you can then do your upsell. Okay. So you want to validate that interest before building though. And that's so that you don't waste your time and you can actually work out what people are looking for, because you've got to identify their immediate problem right now that you can solve that's not too big. Okay. And then you just create action-orientated experiences rather than passive content. So they're taking part. And that's it. Really easy to do. All this is easy to do. And even if you only just do the first part, get that first shout post out. Yeah, and nobody responds. Well done for just doing that. It just means that that problem isn't big enough for them to need right now, or it's the wrong time. Okay, so don't stop. Okay, and that's the end. I hope that was useful.